Hello everyone, welcome to English grammar class. Today in this session, we are going to learn about direct and indirect speech. By the end of this session, I'm quite sure that you will be able to define what is reported speech and you will be able to differentiate between direct speech and then indirect speech, and also you will be able to list the rules of reported speech, and finally you will understand the usage of reported speech. Whenever someone tells you something or shares something with you, there are two ways to narrate what the person said. That is direct, another one is indirect. What is direct speech then? It is a way to narrate what someone said using the speaker's exact words. The reported speech, the speaker's words is placed within quotation mark. In the direct speech, we need to find out that it is used or placed within double inverted comma with offset comma. And in indirect speech, here the original words of the speaker will be getting changed and the pronoun will be changing, the tense will change, the adverb of time also gets changed. Below there is an example, just we could notice that. Direct speech, Sandhya said to me, I love talking to you. Here the reporting verb is said and of course it is in the past. I love talking to you. Actually, I love talking to you, it is a simple present tense which is inverted in the quotation mark. Here, indirect speech, what are the changes we have to do? Just said to me becomes told me. Keep in your mind that told will never take the preposition that is to. So, Sandhya told me, then followed by the conjunction that is that. Then she loved talking to me. Tense simple present becomes simple past. These are the rules that we have to follow while we convert from direct to indirect or reported speech. I becomes me, my, me, my, then he, she, him, her, or his, or her in the reported speech. We, us, they, them. Just below there is an example. John said, I'm coming. The reporting verb is in the past. I'm coming. As per the rule, we have to change the tenses, we have to drop out the inverted comma and we have to change the pronoun. John said, I'm coming, direct speech. Here, indirect speech, John said that I becomes he and the tense got changed, that is present continuous to past continuous. These are the time and place changes while we convert from direct to reported or indirect. Now, then, today, that day, tonight, that night, yesterday, the day before, tomorrow, the following day or the next day week, the following day or week or month or year. Then the modals also will change while we convert to indirect from direct. That is can becomes could, may becomes might, must becomes had to, shall becomes should and will becomes would. And we have to note down here past modals are unchanged from direct to indirect. While we are saying that modals past in the direct, then it won't change in the indirect also. This is a very important aspect that we need to follow. Tense changes. Wherever you are finding simple present tense, then that becomes past simple. Then present continuous become past continuous. Then present perfect simple becomes past perfect simple. Then present perfect continuous becomes past perfect continuous. And past simple will take past perfect simple. Then future will be conditional and then imperative will be infinitive. That means present, it won't change. Here, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, in the direct speech statement, the verbs within the inverted comma will undergo corresponding changes in the direct speech or the statement. See, let us see one by one the examples for all the tenses. Simple present become simple past. Just now we have seen. The girl said the flower is pretty. Here, what is the reporting verb? The reporting verb is said the flower is pretty. And of course, the sentence is simple present or simple indefinite. As per the rule, we have to change the tenses and we have to drop out the inverted comma and we have to add that after the reporting verb. The girl said that the flower was pretty. What are the changes we see here? Is becomes was, then that we have added, then we drop the quotation mark. Then present continuous becomes past continuous. The old man said the rain is falling very heavily. Here the reporting verb is in past, so that we have to change the tenses also. So present continuous become past continuous. The old man said that the rain was falling very heavily. If the reporting verb in the direct speech statement is present tense or the future tense, then it remains the same in indirect speech too, and no change in tense. It's very important. It's very important where we are lagging or we are committing errors. Whenever you are finding the reporting verb is in the present or in the future, then tense will never change. Tense will never change. Tense remains unchanged. My friends say is very handsome. Here the reporting verb, what is that? Say, and of course say is in the present form. So what we have to do, if you are finding the reporting verb is in the present, then tense will never change. Only we are changing the pronoun and we are going to drop out the double inverted comma. So my friends say that is very handsome. We can see that first is simple present, it is remaining as it is. Only I added that, and of course I just drop out the double inverted comma. My granny will say you need not eat well, or you need to eat well. Here my granny will say that you need not to eat well. Here also tense is not changed. See that this is very important. We will see that one by one. Direct, indirect speech, what are the important rules that we have to keep? First one is that conversion rules as per the reporting verb. When the reporting verb or the principal verb, here principal verb means that the main verb is in the past, all present tenses of the direct are changed into the corresponding past tenses. That means if you are finding the reporting verb is in past, and if you are finding the direct is in the present, then we have to change into past. He said I am unwell. In the indirect speech, he said that I becomes he, am becomes was, then unwell. So simple present becomes past simple. If the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the tenses of the direct speech do not change, as I told you earlier. Direct, he says, or he will say I am unwell, then what will be coming? He says that he is unwell, or he will say he is unwell. The tense in indirect speech is not changed if the words within the quotation mark are talking about the universal truth or habitual action. Same. See here, whether the reporting verb is in the present or the past, when you are talking about the universal truth, there we need not change the tenses. See that we cannot live without water. We cannot live without water. And of course, it is a truth. It is universal truth. And we cannot change this one to could not. It's wrong. So there is some exceptional rules for the reported speech. So if you are finding the reporting verb past and we are talking about the universal truth in the direct statement, then make sure there will be no changes in the tenses. Second one is that conversion rule second, present tense in indirect speech. Simple present changes to simple past. I'm happy, she said. She said that she was happy. He said, I love my mother. He said that he loved his mother. My becomes his. Then present continuous changes to the past continuous. Direct, I'm reading a book, he explained. He explained that he was reading a book. See that reporting or might be saying, or it might be said or told, or might be explained or exclaimed or questioned or asked, whatever it may be. If you are finding the reporting verb is in the past, change the tense also. I am reading a book, he explained. So he explained that he was reading a book. He said, I'm going to Bangalore. He said that he was going to Bangalore. He said, I'm plucking a mango. He said that he was plucking a mango. They said, we are playing cricket. They said that they were playing cricket. All those examples for present continuous. Then present perfect changes to past perfect. Direct, she said he has finished his food. Here what will be coming? As per the rule, present perfect becomes past perfect. We know there is a present perfect. Subject is there and a how form used and the third form verb has been used. So it is a present perfect tense. Present perfect tense, if you are finding in the direct speech, when we want to make it as indirect, that becomes past perfect. So she said that he had finished his food. He said, I have gone to Bangalore. He said that he had gone to Bangalore. Had just in place of have that I put had, and then in place of I used he, changed the pronoun and changed the verb also. Then present perfect changes to past, that's already we have seen. Next one, the rule number 3 is that simple past changes to past perfect. It said Ira arrived on Monday. So what will be coming? So subject is there and V2 is there. So it is a simple past. As per the rule, if you are finding simple past in the direct speech, that becomes past perfect. He said that Ira had arrived on Monday. One more example you could see that. He said I went to Bangalore. He said that he had gone to Bangalore. He said I completed my project. He said that he had completed, then my becomes his project. Past continuous to past perfect continuous. We were living in Goa, they told me. It is a past continuous, subject is there, and of course be form past form is used, then V1 ing has been used, it is a past continuous. If you are finding past continuous, then that is to past perfect continuous. They told me that they had been living in Goa. Then future changes to present conditional. See the direct. He said I will be in Kolkata tomorrow. So what will be coming? So will becomes would, that's all. So he said that you would be in Kolkata the next day, tomorrow, that is time factor, that is tomorrow becomes the next day or the following day. Then future continuous or continuous changes to conditional continuous. Direct. She said I will be using the car next Friday. So I will be using. So she would be using the car next Friday. What are the changes that we can see? I will be become she would be, and of course next Friday you can use it even the following Friday also. Then changes in the models. Can changes into could, as we have seen in the previous slides. Direct is said I can swim. So direct reporting verb is in the present form. So what will be coming? Sorry, past form. Then I can swim model verb has been used. Here indirect is said that he could swim. Then may changes into might, and of course it is used. He said I may buy a house. Here you see that I becomes he. Then may becomes might buy a house. Then must changes into had to or would have to. Direct he said I must work hard. So he said that he had to work hard. He said I must play cricket. He said that he had to play cricket. Models that do not change would, could, might, should, ought to. So if you are finding that the direct speech would has been used, would or could or might or should, whatever it is, if you are finding like this, then tense will never change, only or change the pronoun and dropping out the quotation mark. Direct is said I should face the challenge. He said that I becomes he should face the challenge. There is no changes except the pronoun and then double-ended command added that after the reporting verb. Then interrogate, it's very important where we are committing errors. So we have to concentrate here. Reporting verb like said or said to changes to asked or inquired or demanded. See here, direct is said to me, what are you doing? So what is that? What are you doing? Which tense it is? It is present continuous. So indirect, said to becomes, you can use it, asked me or inquired. Just you can use it, asked me. Indirect, he asked me what I was doing. One more thing is very important. While we are converting from direct, that is interrogative, to reported, questions must be statement in the reported. That means in the direct speech, if you are finding the interrogative questions or interrogative sentences, that has to be put into statement in the indirect. You should not leave as question in the reported speech. He asked me what I was doing. See that I used, you becomes I, then or becomes was. If the sentence begins with the auxiliary form, the joining clause should be if or whether. That means there are two types of question as we are aware of it. One is WH questions, another one is yes or no question by using auxiliary form. That is be form or have form or do form. Direct said, he said, will you come for the marriage, for the meeting? He asked them whether they would come for the meeting. So what we have to follow here, if or whether should be used immediately after the reporting verb. Will you come for the meeting? He asked them whether they would come for the meeting. Whether we have to use, then will becomes we have to use would, then come. Would after that we have to use come. If the sentence begins with WH questions, then no conjunction is used and the question word itself act as joining clause. See here, where do you live? Asked the girl. Here no need to add that because that itself it is joining. Indirect, the girl inquired where I lived. See here, simple present becomes past simple. Sixth one, last one I think so. So commands and request and exclamation and wish. See, indirect speech is introduced by some words like ordered, requested, advised, or suggest, or forbids. So is used for the negative sentences. The imperative mood is changed into the infinitive. Direct, Rafiq said to Ahmed, go away. So which sentence it is? Actually, it is an imperative sentence. What is an imperative sentence? Imperative sentence, as we know, it doesn't have subject, but its subject is hidden and it is understood at the same time. The subject is understood at the same time, it will end with the full stop. 2. Direct, Rafiq said to Ahmed, go away. What will be the indirect? Rafiq order. It is a go away or get lost, stand up, open the window. These are the orders, right? So imperative sentence is used for order, request, or the commands or orders. Okay. Here, Rafiq ordered Ahmed. Then what we have to do? Just you have to use to before the imperative words, then use it, the remaining as it is you write, that's all. See, Rafiq ordered Ahmed to go away. Then direct is said to her, please wait. So please word shows that it is a request, right? So he requested her to wait. Then conversion of interrogative, reporting verb like said or said to inquire, demanded, as we have seen. So now you can see that exclamation or wishes. In the indirect speech is introduced by some words like grief or sorrow or happiness or applause. Then exclamatory sentence changes into assertive sentence or interjection or removed. So what do you understand here? Just we have to keep in mind exclamation. Exclamatory sentence is used to show sudden feeling or emotion, that might be sadness, that might be happiness, whatever it may be. So when you are finding those exclamatory sentences, that has to converted into statement. So direct is said, halas, I'm done, I'm undone. So what is a halas word? This word is the expression of sadness. So indirect speech, he exclaimed, instead of said you can use it, exclaimed. So he exclaimed sadly that he was broke or he was undone. Next one, changes of place and time, that and all already we have seen. Then punctuation, the words that are actually spoken should be enclosed in quotes and begin with a capital letter. He said, that these are the rule, he said, and offset comma, then double inverted comma, it starts again, caps, and comma, full stop, question mark, and exclamation must be present at the end of the reported sentences are placed inside the closing inverted comma or commas. So at the end of double inverted comma, we need to keep full stop over there. Example, he asked, comma is there, then double inverted comma, and again question is there. If direct speech comes after the information about who is speaking, comma is used to introduce the piece of speech and placed before the first inverted comma. She shouted, comma, then off stop, then again double inverted comma, stop talking. Example, here what will be coming? She shouted or she shouted to stop talking. She shouted. Next one, conversion of indirect speech. Use the reporting verb say and said to in its correct tense. Remove the conjunction that, to, if, whether, etc. wherever necessary. So that should be removed or that should be stopped when you are talking about the say. Then you are say because we are using whether. So no need to use that conjunction, already disconnected. So no need to use that connective word, that is that. And insert quotation mark and question mark and exclamation full stop as per the mood of the sentences. And write the first first word of sentences with the capital letter. That already we have seen that how to write means first subject, the reporting word subject must be caps, then offset, then double inverted comma, then start with the capital letter, then keep that double inverted comma, then if it is question, put the question, then if it is a full stop, then statement, this to keep a full stop. These were the few examples of direct and then indirect speech. So where we have to, what are the things we have to keep in our mind? That is the rules of the tenses, what tense what should be in the indirect speech. Then time factors, that is now becomes then, before becomes ago, today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the next day or the following day. These are the few things that we have to keep in your mind. And can becomes could, then may becomes might. Those things we have to keep in your mind. At the same time, we should be able to identify the reported verb correctly. At the same time, we should be able to identify the reporting verb is in the present form or in the past form, because based on that reporting verb that we are changing the tenses. If it is reporting verb present, then there will be no changes in the tenses also. At the same time, we should be able to identify some tricks that we have to keep in your mind, some hints that we have to keep in your mind. Well, as soon as you are seeing the direct speech, just to identify which kinds of tense it is. Then identify what pronoun should be what becoming in the reported speech. Then identify, drop out the double inverted comma. Then that where you have to use, to where you have to use, right? Whether where we have to use, whether and he where we have to use. It is used when you're talking about interrogative, that is yes or no type questions. And one more thing that we have to keep in our mind, the reporting, the interrogative will never be interrogative in the reported speech. That becomes statement. So these are the things that we need to keep in our mind. So these are the basic concepts that we need to know while we are learning about this direct and indirect speech. So first thing, we need to know what is reported speech and what is reported speech is also known as indirect speech. So you should be able to know what is direct, what is an indirect, what are the rules that we have to keep in our mind, and what are the sentences that we have to change the tenses. If you are finding the reporting verb past, but the statement is in the universal truth, do we change the tenses? No. So these are the essential points that we need to store in our mind. Then only it will be easy for all of us. I hope that I'm quite sure that you got some amount of knowledge about direct and then indirect speech. So remaining will come with a lot of examples in the part 2, where we are going to see about the imperative negative and then interrogative negative. Then we'll see that even all kinds of tenses, negative, etc. we will be discussing very deeply in the next classes. So just you wait and see. I'm sure you will be learning. So thank you for all of you watching this video, and be in touch with me. Definitely we will be equipped with English grammar. Thank you all. Have a good day.